Hey y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 370. My name is Jason Robertson, owner of Outdoor Legacy, one of your co-hosts, and as always, for the last 369 shows, I've got my co-host Hans with me. What's going on tonight, buddy?
Episode 370 is going to be it's going to be interesting, y'all. I'm going to share the topic here in a minute, but if you are new to the show, you don't know what we do, you're like, what are these two guys talking about? We talk about night hunting, night vision, thermal, anything at night, whether you're hog hunting, predator hunting, hunting raccoons, whatever it is. This is the right show. You found the right spot. If you are here because you've heard of our gear, optic, thermal reviews, that's probably, Jason, I would say more of what we're known for because we review a lot of different optics. Gosh, I don't know how many a year that we do, but we just got fresh off of a show last week. We reviewed the brand new AGM Reach IRs. It's a monocular with a built-in laser rangefinder. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Did that review. We got more reviews coming up. I guess the real reason that we do this, no, we do it because we work, Jason and I, Jason's the owner of Outdoor Legacy, which is a night vision thermal company. I work there. We do this show together to promote Outdoor Legacy for you to be able to see these reviews and jump over to the website, outdoorlegacy.com. You can call us 877-350-1818. You can talk with us one-on-one. You know, these shows and where we're going with this, these shows and these topics and these reviews are here for your entertainment and information, but to be able to really find out which optic is right for you. Sometimes that takes a telephone one-on-one consultation, and you have that ability with us where you can call us directly and talk through this. You know, hey, I saw you do this review last week and you haven't done this review, or what do you think of this monocular versus this monocular, this scope? Use us. That's where a lot of people get our information and call us 877-350-1818. Now,
Use us and buy your scope from us.
yes.
Just that was the last point, the most important part.
The most important. So, if you are wondering what we're talking about this week, the reason why I say this is going to be an interesting show because we kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to start out by saying that thermal is king. When it comes to
Yeah.
night hunting, thermal is king. But we kind of wanted to flip that around because we do get a lot of phone calls, and this show still does focus a lot on night vision. Anytime there's a new night vision optic that comes out from one of the premium manufacturers that we work with, we always do a review, and we focus a whole show, best of night vision episode at the end of the year on it. So it's still something we focus on. But we got a lot of people that say, I want a night vision scope, and we have to talk about, okay, this is the conditions it's going to be right for. So the show that we wanted to do today was the 5 benefits of night vision over thermal. And it wasn't an easy show, but we found 5 that we're going to be able to share with you today. 5 benefits of night vision over thermal. And I think that these are some pretty compelling arguments for the people out there that are trying to decide if they need a night vision or if they need a thermal. I think we've got some a pretty good case to make for some people that might want some night vision, Jason.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm going to say that it did. It took a little bit to come up with 5 reasons, and number one, and number two, we're going to kind of roll together. I mean, we're going to separate them, but they really they go hand in hand,
Mm-hmm.
and so listen. A lot of people say, well, you don't like to sell night vision because it's cheap. Guys, that's how Outdoor Legacy started, was I was selling night vision scopes, and that's where it's at because they were cheap. That's why I was selling them, because it was a great way to get people into night vision, into night hunting, I should say, is because it was affordable. And I maybe shouldn't use the word cheap, but they're a lot cheaper than a lot of thermals. And so, again, when we get to the end, we're going to kind of wrap that up and talk about it a little bit more. But there are certain people that I would say that night vision is good for. I would say that for the vast majority of people, if you have the budget, thermal is going to be better. But that's not a rubber stamp. It's not like I can get thermal for the same price as night vision, so I should get thermal. We're going to talk about that a little bit in there. But I think the very first thing is kind of segues right into is the number one reason that or what night vision does kind of hold over thermal, generally speaking, is the most obvious, and it is price. When people think of thermal, most people think of something expensive, and that's understandable because thermals historically have been very expensive. When we started, this business over a decade ago, thermals were $5,000 to $15,000. I mean, you just weren't going to buy $2,000 or $3,000 thermals. They didn't exist. A
Right.
$5,000 thermal, a $6,000 thermal was basically entry level, and so the prices have come down, but people still think of, man, the thermal's expensive, and there is a lot of expensive scopes. 2,500 to $6,000 is a very common price range, and so you can get into digital night vision for say $500. There's, and this is a whole nother topic we've kind of discussed before, is digital night vision going away? And the answer to that is yes. It is slowly, I think, going away, because thermal is getting less and less expensive and people are adopting thermal. But if you come in and go, I want to stick my big toe in the water and I want to consider night hunting, and maybe I've got one coyote out there that I know I need to go kill, or I got one fox getting into my chickens, or I've got whatever, some armadillos. I don't need to spend $5,000. That's where I think
Yeah.
that digital night vision is very attractive, because the most expensive digital night vision optic that we carry, which we also think is the best on the entire market, which is the AGM 4K Spectrum LRF, and it's $1,100. All right, that's the most expensive that you can get. Whereas the least expensive thermal that we sell is about $800. So you can just kind of see, price is
Yeah.
very attractive when it comes to these. Now, Hans, I'm going to let
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
add anything you want there and kind of roll in, because I know where this is, the next step is kind of part of this,
I
price
I
range.
think, yeah, I think I'm going to roll in because this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. I think that we can all agree now that since the prices of thermal have gone down, and there are a couple models down there sub 1,000 thermal scopes, and people see that and they say, okay, I need a thermal scope. I think we can all agree that there are people that are buying a thermal scope, a very inexpensive thermal scope, that probably need to go to a night vision because of what they're getting in distance. So take that in case in point. An $800 thermal like a Radler 256, great thermal scope for the money, but it's going to be pretty limited as far as distance that you can actually work with, whether it being IDing or taking a shot. I mean, you're looking at 125 yard thermal. So they say, okay, I'm going to get this $800 thermal because it's now in my budget, but they need something that they can shoot out to 200 to 300 yards. So maybe they're buying something that's not going to ultimately be a good fit for them, and spending money when actually they needed something else. So where the rubber meets the road on price and thermal and night vision is really distance for the dollar. If you think about it, an $800 to $1,000 thermal optic is going to get you about 100 to 125 yards of ID range, and really max its shooting range. Really, a $800 to $1,000 thermal is going to be better, much better under 100 yards, but maybe about max ID range, 125 yards. A $1,500 to $2,000 thermal, that's going to get you about 200 to 250 yards in distance ID range. If the $500 to $1,200 mark on a night vision scope, you add a $250 upgraded sniper hog light to that, you can get 300 to 500 yards of viewable distance and ID range, and you're going to have a pretty significant further effective shooting range. So again, the low end thermal, you're going to be very limited on the distance that you can ID an animal. You're going to spend $500 to $1,200 on a good night vision scope with an IR light. You're going to get more than double of ID range and effective shooting range. So you talk about that price comparison versus distance comparison. For you out there that needs something that you need to be able to ID 300 yards, 400 yards, you need to be able to shoot at 300 yards. and you have $1,000 budget, going out and buying $1,000 thermal is really not going to be the best use of your money there. That would be best used for something that's going to work for that distance. Now, if a night vision is going to work in your environment, because we know that night vision is really going to do well in a wide open, fresh cut field, that's another discussion to be had. But when it comes down to just price and distance comparison between night vision and thermal, in that certain price range, you're going to get more for your dollar really out of a night vision optic.
Hans, I think that this, number two here is distance for the dollar. I don't think it can be stressed enough. I think this
Mm-hmm.
is the number one thing where most people miss. Again, we're telling you, thermal is king. Hans said it right out from the beginning. We believe that thermal will do better for 99% of hunters. But the issue is they can't always afford the thermal that they need.
Right.
And so I think Hans laid that out really well with kind of the price versus your realistic distance and what you can expect to be able to ID and shoot. And there's a whole lot of guys that, I mean, Hans, you talk to him, I talk to him, Garrett, our other salesman, I know he talks to him, and it's this, man, I see this, $800 or $1,000 256 resolution scope. Gosh, man, I've been waiting on thermal. That's awesome. I'm ready to get it. And I mean, this guy's like, you go, hold on, let's pull the reins back a little bit. He's ready to swipe the credit card. And we go, tell me what you're doing. Oh, man, I'm hunting, I'm hunting coyotes. Okay, well, how far are you going to be shooting? Man, I just need to shoot 300 yards. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. You've
Yeah.
just got the wrong optic. You just don't quite understand what it will do there. So anyway, I think you explained that very, very well. So moving on and kind of number three, it goes right into this, and it is this positive ID ability. So not just distance for the dollar, but actual positive ID.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue this, that someone who has a lot of hunting experience, daytime, I'm fine with a guy with real experience, and he's been out in the field and he knows his area and he knows what animals are there, whether that's domestic livestock as well as predators, whatever
Mm-hmm.
could be there. I
Right.
think you combine that with a guy who's had a thermal and he's used it intentionally and he's used it a lot of different conditions, bad, nasty, wet, humid conditions,
Mm-hmm.
tall grass, thick brush, perfect clear nights, fresh cut or plowed fields. So all the different scenarios, of best case to worst case, and a guy who's intentional, who's like, man, I want to learn to ID. I'm going to say from the front, I think that guy can ID very, very well 99.9% of the time in what he's going to be doing. But, and here's the big but. There is there are, I should say, certain times where a night vision scope is just going to be superior in that identification. And let me give you a really big one. And I know some people are going to hear this and they're going to bristle up, but we have a lot of customers who are in farm country and they're dealing with being overrun by deer, normally white-tailed deer. Way too many in their areas.
Mm-hmm.
And as farmers, they can get deprivation permits. So they're allowed to go out and kill deer day or night, during some time period, and it probably not normally in the normal season, but they can, whatever, within the state rules that they've got and that they're given with these permits, they can go out and legally kill these deer that are damaging their crops. But not all, but some of these guys that we talk to say, hey, I got this deal and we can only kill does. We cannot kill bucks. So when I go to shoot these, I have to know if it's a buck or a doe. And a lot of times it's going to be at longer ranges. They're going to be on great big fields, plowed ground or crops, and they're not just necessarily going to be sitting in a deer stand like we think with a corn feeder out there. They can't do that. They have to get
Mm-hmm.
them in these fields actually in the act of harming their crops. And so they have to be sure they're looking at a buck. I've had other guys say, legally I can kill bucks or does, but as this landowner or as this farmer, I don't want to kill the bucks. I only want to kill the does. We got way too many of them anyway. So thermal doesn't work for that. Yes, if you've got a buck with a large enough rack that is in velvet and you've got blood flow, yes, you can see that with a thermal. There does come some distance that you can't see that well, especially with a less expensive thermal. But once that animal gets to be hard horned and those horns and antlers have no blood flow anymore, you're not going to be able to see those antlers very well at all at distance, even with a good high end thermal. That's where night vision, that was a big build up to this, but that's where night vision it is just so superior, because you can look out there with the correct IR light at 2, 3, 4, maybe 500 yards or further and identify that buck from a doe. Now, if we're talking about, is that a little bitty nubbin buck or a spike or something really small? Maybe it's not 500. Maybe it's 200. But still, that's something you're not going to be able to do with that thermal. So it's that positive ID. Another thing, briefly, that I hear guys talk about is, hey, I'm hunting this farm. The neighbor has got dogs running around. Or I had a guy that I talked to back in the fall, and they actually have sheep dogs that are guard dogs, and they stay out there at night. And he said, man, we're doing this hunting and we're calling in coyotes, but we've got to be sure that we're not shooting one of our guard dogs. Okay, so that's where night vision is going to work. You're going to look out there and you're going to say, oh yeah, that's, I can see the collar on the neighbor's German Shepherd. Same thing, some guys tell me that they can kill coyotes, but they can't kill fox, or vice versa. You're going to have a better chance of that positive ID with less risk with night vision. So again, putting a bow on that, generally speaking, the average hunter with experience, daytime hunting, and with his thermal is going to be able to identify for normal, again, coyote, fox, predator hunting, hog hunting, determining that's not a deer, that's not a dog, that's not a calf or a cow or any other animal that you're not supposed to be shooting, or he's not supposed to be at that time. So I do think it can be done, but there are specific instances where night vision is just going to perform better.
And I think you hit it right there where you're talking about IDing. I think the biggest thing that I hear from callers is people that are coyote hunting and the fear of shooting the neighbor's dog.
Yeah.
I probably that's the number one concern that people have, and why there's a lot of people out there that feel more comfortable using night vision than people that call and say, hey, I'm not buying night vision because of the price. I'm buying it because I feel comfortable when I take a shot. And for those out there that are in that situation, I completely understand. There's places around here where I live where we have a lot of dogs running around, and that is not a phone call that you want to have to make to your neighbor. I promise you that. But yes, that is a big part of it. And I know, Jason, what you're about to talk about next is also another attractive feature with some of these night vision scopes.
Yeah, this is a big deal to a lot of people. We get this question with thermals a lot. We've done a show on this. I'd have to go back and find the show number. But it's, can you use thermals during the daytime? And the answer is yes, but no. You can. It's just not good. We don't advise it. However, you in a pinch, did a hog run out, did a coyote run out, and all you got your thermal? Yeah, go shoot him. Are you going to go hunting during the day intentionally? Don't take your thermal. Yes, they're good for looking out and quickly IDing. No, I'm sorry, not IDing. Detecting an animal that something's there. All right, they have benefits. But for just actually hunting and shooting, we highly would recommend, either a regular daytime glass scope, or if you've already got a night vision scope, these days, every quality night vision scope is going to be full color day video during those daytime hours. And it's just fantastic. I mean, you can deer hunt with. Hans killed a great buck this year with his, day night scope. I think it was the AGM Spectrum 4K LRF. So
Sure was.
it's definitely doable. Same thing if you're hunting coyotes or hogs or coons or whatever it is. You can do that during the day and have a good experience with it. Now, I know there's going to be some guys go, wait a minute. XYZ thermal can already do that. Right now, that is not common. Of the premium brands out there, Pulsar's the only company that's got anything that is day and night capability. They're expensive. I mean, they're talking about $4,000 plus. Again, so if we're dealing with the premium brands, it's not out there. Do I think that this is something we could continue to see over time in the well known trusted brands? I sure hope so. I think it's a great feature. It's a great ability that a lot of people want of being able to have a thermal day and night. And I say day again, just it's going to go to video, full color during the day, and then at night would be thermal. That's what a lot of people want. I hope that we eventually see that. But right now, again, you're talking about spending $500, $1,200 and getting an optic like the Sightmark or AGM, and getting a really really good optic that will do night vision and full color daytime as well. So again, very affordable for what you're getting.
So the last, I would say, benefit where you can see a clear advantage with night vision over thermal. So the biggest, I would say, challenge to thermal is bad weather, whether it be
Yeah.
rain, a lot of moisture in the air, very high humidity, just overall bad weather. Even a Jason, even a cloudy night can make a thermal scope not look as good as it would on a clear night where you can look up and see the stars, low humidity. So you're talking about the percentage of which the picture image is degraded, I think depends on how severe the weather is. Now, night vision, though, using a night vision optic at night, yes, it will be affected by rain or snow, or I would say physical moisture in the air, but
Mm-hmm.
not so much with just high humidity or even a cloudy night. I don't know, just all the years of using night vision, I don't think I've ever seen really a difference at all on just a cloudy night that the image would be that degraded, or even just in general high humidity. But if you take that same, if you take a thermal out in those conditions, you're going to see a real uh, distorted or degraded picture image because of that weather. So I would say the advantage there with night vision is just that you can use it on a night when there's high humidity. You can use it on a cloudy night. The image is going to look pretty much the same
Mm-hmm.
that it would on a clear night. Thermal, not so much. We know that it's going to be degraded by some very slight weather atmospheric condition
Mm-hmm.
changes than that on a clear night or a perfect night. So that's
Yeah.
it can be a big benefit for somebody. If you're wanting to go out and you're wanting to take some people out and have a good experience, but you don't want to take your thermal out because it's looking a little fuzzy. A night vision might be something that could be a better fit for that night.
So, guys, I mean, these are 5 reasons, and I want to be clear. We didn't just come up with this to come up with it. It is legitimate. There are people, and that's why we made this comment early on. That's why Hans went in to number two is distance for the dollar. We do see guys making mistakes buying thermal scopes. Most of the time, it's due to a budget constraint, and it's I don't want to spend two, three, $4,000. Totally understand, totally get it, but they're buying a thermal incorrectly when they should be buying a digital night vision optic. And again, I think what we talked about there with the absolute positive ID, in some certain situations, again, that's a very strong point. I think you put all these together, it makes a case for some people to go, you know what? Yeah, maybe I should start out with this. Now, I'll be the first to admit that when you get into night hunting and you get a digital night vision optic and you get a good one, you get it set up, you can have a lot of fun. But once you see a thermal, you're probably going to say, "Oh my gosh, I need one of those." I mean, it is. I mean, thermal is, as Hans said, the king. So I don't want this show to be like, "Oh yeah, everybody needs to go buy night vision." No, but I do think there is still a place for it as long as it's being manufactured and the quality is what it is today, and probably even getting better. I think that there's a lot of room for it. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed this. Listen, if you're looking for a scope and you don't know whether, you need a $500 scope, a digital night vision to get started because you really don't know exactly what it can do. Maybe you need a thermal. Maybe you want thermal and you're just not sure which one to get with the different, even if you say you got a $2,500 budget, there's a lot of scopes right there that could fit your budget. You don't know which ones. We would love to have your business at Outdoor Legacy, and we would be very happy to help you pick out just the right optic for your needs. So you can give us a call, 877-350-1818, or go to outdoorlegacy.com, and you can check out all the optics there. If you need that help, Hans, Garrett, myself, we're around. We're glad to help our customers. We've got three ladies doing customer service in the office that are fantastic. They keep this ship afloat every day. They keep us guys in line. We've got a warehouse that is fantastic. If you place your order before noon, Texas time, Central time, Monday through Friday. We've got that in stock, which we can let you know right there when you order it. We're going to get it shipped out the same business day with free shipping straight to your door. So we really want your business. We want to show you our customer service before and after the sale. You've already found us here on YouTube, but while you're on YouTube, go and search for Hans ETX. That's Hans ETX. That's Hans's channel. He's got a lot of reviews and hunting videos and things there on his channel as well. You can also find Outdoor Legacy here on YouTube. And if you're on the social medias, whether that's Facebook or Instagram, search for any of these, the Late Night Vision Show, Hans ETX, or Outdoor Legacy. We would love to have you give us a like or a follow on all those social medias.
You kind of sounded your age there when you said you can find us on the social medias. I don't know. I don't feel like that's not the way the kids would say. Yeah, that's not the way the kids would say it.
What would the kids say? What would the youngsters say?
I don't know. Chat me up on Twitter. I don't know.
Twitter's not even around
the DMs.
Anymore. Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds more like it.
Did you say Twitter? I don't think anybody.
I know. I said I'm sounding older than anybody because that's not even around.
Yeah, it's getting worse. Twitter's not even a thing anymore. It's X or something.
Exactly.
Y. Z.
X or Y. Episode 370 is in the can, y'all. We got 371 coming up next week right here, the Late Night Vision Show. We will see y'all soon. Y'all take care.